time for the fender. Okay, so I know I said I'd remain consistent with my tutorials. Things happen. I got sick. I'm having all sorts of problems with my internet cutting in and out and in and out and in and out. And yeah. Anyway, I'm here. So what we're going to be looking at today is the fender. Now I've already pre-built, designed, created the fender. And the reason why I did that is because when you look at the drawing of the fender in the book, which is right there, you'll notice it actually looks rather complicated. There's a lot of radius, or radii, however you want to pronounce it, a lot of tips and tricks and stuff. So yeah, we'll break it down to its bare form, which if I go through and look at the tree here, so you can see there, boom. Yeah, there's a lot of detail in that. Let's give it a crack. Alrighty, so like with everything, we're going to start a new part. I'm going to go over here, select the front plane, and just on that little fly up, I'm going to choose sketch, or again, you can go to your sketch tab and select the sketch button there. Okay, where and how do we start with this thing? I'm going to say that we start with our midpoint line because we want to set the distance from front to rear axle. So we're going to go midpoint line. Now when you select it, we want this to be construction only. So in the left hand side here where it says options, I want you to tick in the for construction button, and we're going to simply left click on the origin, draw a nice straight line, boom, double click to get rid of that. Smart dimension tool, and we want this line is going to be 100 millimeters long. Okay, so there we have it. That's the start of our design. Alright, here's the trick, and the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to get ourselves our circle tool, and we're going to, do I want my circle tool? No, change that. Let's grab our 3-point arc. So you'll notice we've got a few options over here with our 3-point arc. I really want you to look at maybe the third option here, where we're going to just come over from the origin. See this reference line here? Blah, 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 blah. Come over, left click, draw an arch, and click and draw it up. Okay, that's really, really dodgy, but that's okay. And we're doing this live, so if it doesn't work out, we restart. I'll grab my Smart Dimension tool, and I'm going to select the center point there and the end of the line there, and we're setting that at 4 millimeters. The radius of this, I'm going to click and I'll bring my radius down. We're going to make 17.5, so it's nice and big. And we're just going to get out of our Smart Dimension tool there, and I'm just going to bring, you see if I hold my cursor on these points here, I can actually click and drag that however I see fit. Now at the moment it's just floating. I actually want it to be locked vertical with this endpoint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click the center point of the radius there, hold my shift button down and left click the point at the end of that line, and over here I'm going to select a vertical relationship. Green tick. Now I can move, adjust, do whatever I want with this, but it's not going to move off of that point there. Boom. Number 1 done. Number 2, we're going to now get ourselves, what should we do? What should we do? What should we do? We'll do the other end, the other radius. So grab your radius tool, your arc tool, do the same thing. I'm just going to make some sort of random radius there. And this one again is a 4 millimeters from there. Boom, boom, boom. and it is a radius of 17.5. And again, I'm going to click that center point, shift button, click that, and make it a vertical and green tick. Okay. So now what we want to do is, this is where it all becomes a little bit tricky. I can't remember how I did it, but that's okay. That's okay. We're going to get our line tool and we're going to draw it roughly in place. And once it's in place, then we're going to dimension it up. So we're going to draw a line straight down from there. We're going to come straight across from here and we're going to go straight up to there. That is our first port of call. Now what I want to do is I want these lines on the angles, boom and boom and boom and boom, I want them to be tangent with the radius. So we're going to left click on the line, shift button down, left click on that radius, and over here on the relationship properties tab, we're going to go tangent, green tick. Do the same on the other side, left click select, shift button, left click select, tangent, tick, boom, happy days. Now, we want this line here to be 45 degrees in an angle from here. Okay, so Smart Dimension tool, we're going to select this, not the dot in the middle, not the dot in the middle, we're going to select the line. We're going to bring our cursor down to this center point line here and select that. Bring our dimension up into the middle there, and we're going to make that 45 degrees. Boom! And, I didn't put one in on the other one. That's okay, we will work it out. What we want to do now is get ourselves another center line tool. Boom, 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 boom. We are going to draw a line up on an angle like that. And same over this side. So I'm going to the center point of the radius there. I'm going to come over this side. Now what we want to do is, and I can't remember if it'll let me do this, I need to make that angle there 45 degrees. And if I click this line and bring my cursor outwards, I need to make that 22 degrees. And what we're going to do is we're going to select that dot at the end there of the radius, shift button, select that construction line, and we're going to make it coincident. Same on the other side, select the dot, shift button, center construction line, coincident. Okay, boom, 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 that's the end of those. Now what we need to do is we're going to get ourselves our sketch fillet, just that one there, and we are going to select this point here, and our fillet radius is going to be 12.5 millimeters. And we'll tick that. And then over this side, I've still got my sketch fillet option available because it had the drawing pin was selected to keep visible. So over this side, we're going to select that one, and we're going to make that radius 7. And green tick. So it's all starting to come along now. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let's get rid of that sketch fillet tool. It's looking pretty good so far. What we need to do is set a distance between the original center line and this part of the chassis. So let's go Smart Dimension. Let's click on these two dimensions and let's make that 2 millimeters. Excellent. And this should be fully defined now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, I don't know why that's not fully defining itself, but we'll no, I'm just going to leave that. I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. It's not going to cause a problem. Okay, we need to create a 5mm offset from this. So if we go offset entities, change this to 5, and then select our drawing. Now, for me, that preview has dropped underneath my design. I want it to be above, so I'm going to hit the reverse button over here. Boom. I also want to end this off, right? Now I can either tick and get rid of that and then get my straight line edge and draw these lines here solid, or where it says cap ends, if I click that and I choose lines, notice it's actually already put a cap end on there and a green tick. And that ideally is the shape of our running board and fenders. So what we're going to do now is we're going to extrude that. And how far did I extrude that? I extruded that 9.5 by the looks of it. Okay, and green tick. So let's just double click and just check that again, ladies and gentlemen. Where are you? Why didn't you? No, there you go. So my original extrude was 9.5. Go me. Okay, you'll notice that now we need to add a side skirt, so to speak, and this is like a mounting plate. And then I'll cut hole in it. Okay, so we're going to do that. So let's go back to here. Here's my trusty part. Let's go back to my front view. Now, what we're going to do is with our front view, we're going to, if I go back, where am I? Let's go view, tile, horizontally. You'll notice this is drawn on the back surface. Alright, so what we're going to do, does that confuse people if I do that? I hope not, because it is kind of handy. But I can bring that down. So that's my front view. I'm going to flip this around now to my back view and select that surface and create a sketch. From here now, brown tile, we are going to trying to make sense of their drawing in front of me is very, very difficult, I might just say. Let's start up here. Let's start on that orange edge there. Let's go to that edge there, and then let's bring that down. Smart dimension, let's make that. It's supposed to be 65. Boom, 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 boom. And it's only supposed to come up, and I'm just trying to make sense of what their drawing was without going back to mine. But I'm going to go back to my drawing, which is this one. Boom. Let's have a look at that sketch, shall we? So we did, oh yeah, I can see what we did here, Jimmy. Alright, I am not going to be able to move this off of that outside edge because it has a coincident relationship, this little box here. So I'm actually going to click on that little pink box, turns blue, and delete on my keyboard. Now I'm free to maneuver hoover wherever I want this to go. So I'm actually going to see how I can bring this down. I'm going to select there, and then I want this one to select onto there. So now I am very much looking at what I've got here, but could have done this an easier way. I've made everything difficult for everybody. We're going to just select the bottom, select the sides, and get rid of these nasty pasties. Should have just done a line tool. I know, millions of ways we can do something. I did the awkward way. I'm going to highlight this and go convert entities. So now what it's done is it's actually traced the whole outside of this pattern. And I'm just going to get my trim tool. Now I've got it set currently at power trim, which basically means if I hold my left keyboard down, you can see that little snaky. I'm just going to go over, oopsie, too far, all the parts we don't want. So I don't want any of this inside one. I don't want that. Hold my control button down on my keyboard and press my left mouse button, helps me pan. Get rid of that. So all I'm left with now is if I highlight it, you can see that shape. Alright. And that is then going to, where am I? Where am I? We're going to extrude that. Now see how it's not sticking out? It's actually going inwards. Boom. So we're going to extrude that in 2 millimeters. So if we go to features, extruded boss base, there's that part there. It's going the wrong way, so I'm going to select reverse direction. So it goes inwards. I'm going to change this to 2 and green tick. Okay. I know, I could have done that better, and I apologise. Now what we need to do is, if we have a look at this other one here, we've got the mounting block here, and that is on the inside of the car chassis predominantly. So we're going to go back to our side view. What are you doing, Davis? I'm a little bit rusty. Select that surface so you can see that I've got that selected. Create our sketch. Okay. Yep. Grab our rectangle tool. Man, I do not like these drawings. This is why I rehearsed this one, because this one was a bit tricky. Off the top here, we're going to draw ourselves a rectangle. It's going to be 35 millimeters long. It is going to, we're going to in a minute extrude that out, but we do need to set this a distance. I think I set that from, let's have a look. As I said, this one took a bit of thought. Okay, so what did we do? We set it. Okay, so the center of the rectangle there, we made that 3.9 over to the side and then 5 mil up. So let's do this. So we need to actually hold our mouse and drag that across. This was 5 mils, remembering. And then from the center point to the origin, bring that dimension straight down. What was that? 3.9? Let's show how quick my brain. Yep, 3.9. Yay, go me. And then we extruded that out. Should be extruded out about 9.5. Yeah, go me. Alright, so let's just grab our little features and extrude. And let's take that out 9.5. Tick. And centered hole. So we're going to go to the top here. And we're going to go sketch. We're going to find our little center mark there. So just hovering over that line there. I'm not going to click my mouse or anything. Just going to let the computer register that mark. And then I'm going to find this one here. Drag that along now until they intersect. Click and drag and draw a hole. And that's going to be 3.5 millimeters. Features extruded cut. I'm too lazy to spin it around, so I'm just going to say change blind to through all. Green tick. And there's your mounting plate for your fenders and running board. So I have already shaved it, as you can see here. Fender and running board, or I just called it a fender. So file, save as new or save to this PC, fender. Alright, sorry, this one was a little bit tricky. Alright, but you know, take your time, work through it, you'll get that